Alright, PlayStation Network signed me out for no reason, and that made me lose connection. Sorry about that. Thankfully, it was at the end, pretty much, but that's too bad. Of course, it happens right at the end. Couldn't catch a break in this episode. Ridiculous. Could not catch a break. Now let's go through all the things again with the title and all that. Thankfully, in the entire series, it's only the second week of the 15 weeks we've streamed. It's only the second time it's happened where something's happened at the network and I got to restart the stream. But to wrap it up here, we'll just check the playoff war. If you hadn't seen the last episode or part 1 of this episode, the 111 win Pittsburgh Pirates lose in 4 games to the wild card winning Cincinnati Reds. Wow. Just give me a second to fix this. Of course, that has to happen. PlayStation Network signed me out, unfortunately. For some reason, I got signed out of PlayStation Network. So now we'll just finish off the episode fast over here. Bednar, of course, with all the saves. I guess that's it. Just sim to the offseason. Actually, Slim wants to see playoff war. War is wins above replacement. I've explained it before. Essentially, war, wins above replacement, is what value of wins does that player provide above the level of a replacement level player. So in hockey, if you're looking repping, No Slim has wild suggestions at times that blowing it up might not be the worst idea, may be a bit extreme. Oh, I'm sure the bot sent another ping. Yeah, like I wouldn't, like maybe it's time to move on from a guy like Santander, who's getting older and didn't have a good season. Maybe anyone who didn't have a good season type of thing, you know? Time to move on from. Gurriel Jr. out. Santander out. A bit of a refresher for the starting pitching. Like, obviously, we're not blowing it up in the sense of De Silva, Flaherty, Contreras, I think are still our top 3 in our rotation, absolutely. Pete Alonso's not going anywhere. O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Ian Happ. I think those guys are locked in for sure. But there's a few people we have to look at. So, in the NHL, for example, Connor McDavid, what is his WAR? So if he is a centerman, what value of wins does he provide to the team above that of a replacement level player? What is a replacement level player? If he's an NHL forward, it would mean a 13th forward. So play a 13th forward in McDavid's first line center spot, and he might only provide you with 1, or not even like a decimal point of a victory, while McDavid in that role is responsible for, let's say, 8 victories on the season, type of thing. Like how much value, like, and getting a game-winning goal doesn't mean that he got like a +1 WAR. It's a cumulative type of thing. It's hard to explain, I find, but that's kind of how I think about it. How can I look at the postseason stats again? Statistics. Maybe I can't. Can you look at it during the playoffs? Oh no, I'm looking at player. I don't want to look at team stats. I want to see player stats. Statistics, player statistics, and yeah, position players. Okay, no problem. So what was the WAR here? 0.4 for Cruz, that's great. -0.1 for Rodriguez, Johnson, and Grissom. Grissom out, Johnson out, Rodriguez out. No, but Johnson's so good. A potential, 87 overall, 22 years old. He can't leave. But Rodriguez, maybe it's time to move on from Rodriguez. Maybe it's time to make a decision for the catcher between Rodriguez and Davis. That'll be a question for the offseason next episode. But, yeah. Man. So it's going to be Cincinnati, the Padres versus the Reds in the NLCS, and the Blue Jays versus the Twins in the ALCS. Oh, pitchers, yeah. Come on, come on. Statistics, player statistics, pitchers. Sorry, I forgot about that. Let's see. 0.3 for De Silva. There you go. Eat your heart out, Slim. Negative 0.1 for Ferguson. Negative 0.1 for Priester. Ferguson, I think we need better left-handed options. Ferguson's probably out of here, but he's a free agent. Maybe it's sign and trade. I don't know. Playoff 4. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not saying Johnson is actually going to leave. I'm just ranting a bit now. But I wanted to see more. I was more curious in who the most valuable players were as opposed to who the most unvaluable players were. All right, let's sim a week here. World Series, Blue Jays versus Padres. Of course, the Padres breezed through the Reds in 5 games. Blue Jays and Padres in the World Series. Let's go Blue Jays, I suppose. Actually, I could go see it. I forgot. Blue Jays or Padres. Blue Jays. All right, so they lost games 1 and 2. The Blue Jays lost games 1 and 2. Game 3, they lose 12-10. So here the Padres on the brink of sweeping the World Series, and they do it. The Padres sweep the Blue Jays to win the 2027 World Series. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and sim to the offseason at this point. Third base coach has retired. There you go. Let's see, speaking of retirements, will Choi and or McCutchen call it a career? Let's see that. Hitting coach contract has ended. Offseason's about to begin. 5 days to negotiate contracts, blah, blah, blah. Tender qualifying offers. Okay, retired players. Do we see McCutchen retire? Yes, we do. The captain, at 41 years of age, calls it a career. Andrew McCutchen, I'm so sorry we couldn't get it for you. You were a part of a great franchise, a great organization that did great things. But McCutchen will retire without the ring. So unfortunate. Thankfully, Ji-Man Choi will be back, but McCutchen is out. Kyle Freeland leaving. A lot of other players retiring. Sean Manaea retires. 36. Anyone else who can? Ryan Yarbrough. All right. Any Hall of Fame inductees? Clayton Kershaw retired and is a part of the Hall of Fame. Congratulations on a 20-year career, as Clayton Kershaw is a 2027 inductee to Cooperstown. All right. All right, so now's the beginning of the off season. That'll be next week this time. I think next week at this time, next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. There goes the phone. I think that will be our last. This next week will be our last Friday night Pirates episode before we move into a different schedule for the fall and winter. So next Friday night will be our last Friday of Pirates streaming until the Pirates will move to a different night. So I'll keep you posted on that, but make sure to tune into the channel next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will have the 2027 postseason, trying to get stronger and have a quick retool headed into 2028. Keep in mind, some of these players, do we want to bring back, Buster Posey's not there anymore, do we want to bring back Camilo Doval? Do we want to make him our closer or a setup man or what? Do we bring him back? Caleb Ferguson probably walks. Thank you, Walter. Appreciate it. Do we have Joe Barlow back? Colby Allard? G-Man Choi is definitely back, of course. Get his little $1 million deal. But, I don't know. We don't have a ton of money either. Keep that in mind. Our current max offer, $35 million. Surplus. We have $39.71 million in our surplus. And that's with Doval, Ferguson, Barlow, Allard, Choi, and the rest of our team to sign on. If we look at budget here, who do we really have signed on for 2028? Not as many as you would think. Actually, no, sorry, more than you would think for the starting lineup, and not as much as you would think for the rest of the team, right? Yeah. We have to think about that. We'll think about it. Review staff, rebrand team, blah, blah, blah. So think about these players right here in a comment down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server, and that'll be just about it. Ladies and gentlemen, leaving us with, 44.71 in the available budget. All right. What do we want to do headed into this offseason? Do we want to look to target specific positions? Maybe we sign and trade some players to try to recoup some value, or we just let them walk, Grissom and Doval. I think Gurriel Jr. are going to be out. Do we look to target a new outfielder and move on from Santander? Maybe he's continuing to regress a bit too much. He's 33. He had a bit of a down year, batting .248. We could think about that, but I would think that Rojas, Happ, Reynolds, Alonso, Cruz, and Hayes are pretty much locked in. Who do we think for catcher next season? Rodriguez has had the better numbers, 70s for contact, 50s and 60s for power, while Davis is 60s, 70s-ish for contact, and 50s for power. But I don't know. Who do we roll with, Rodriguez or Davis? That's another question I'll think about into the offseason. So leave a comment down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server. I will leave you there, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a great weekend. Pittsburgh Penguins, franchise mode. The 2026 offseason with the Penguins coming out tomorrow on Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure that you're subscribed if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the 2027 offseason. What a shameful postseason, a ridiculous playoff. I can't believe it went out this way, but Savi, we move on, we get stronger. McCutcheon, front office position, and we'll try to fine tune those little things because we still are the best team in baseball. I truly believe it. So thanks for being here, everybody. Have yourselves a great rest of your Friday night. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Good night.